But you're my bestie for life. Yeah, you're the family I choose. Yeah, you. The end, till the end, we can get through this together. But you're my bestie for life.
Welcome back, everyone. Last week, we talked about the topic of boundaries, emphasizing their importance in our personal growth and well-being. We discussed how setting clear boundaries can lead to healthier relationships and increase productivity by preventing burnout and fostering self-respect. I'm here with Terri, who's going to tell us about today's topic. Hi, Terri.
Hey, this week we're going to talk about procrastination, something that I do a lot of and need to work on that. But today we've got Penny with us. She's a filmmaker, novelist, black belt, roller derby athlete, founder of a widely popular adult summer camp. Penny doesn't just dream, she does. As she approaches her 40th birthday, she's celebrating the release of a 3-book deal and life filled with grits, guts, goals, and turned reality. This conversation is all about dropping the excuses, finding your momentum, and learning how to just do the thing. Hi, Penny.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Oh, hi, Penny. We're so happy to have you.
I'm stoked to be here.
So we are going over and talking about procrastinations. So can you give us a little bit of background on yourself, Penny, and tell us all about you?
Oh my goodness, where to start? Okay. Well, I think the most fitting thing to lead with is that I'm a Capricorn. And I am a triple earth sign, and I've been told that explains a lot about me.
I don't know what a triple earth sign is.
It's Capricorn, Virgo, Capricorn. It's like my...
Oh, see, I'm a Virgo.
Oh, see? It's gotta be.
See, I don't know the other two. How do you find out the other two?
You do a birth chart.
Birth chart.
Yeah.
Okay.
You need to know your.
Right.
That's a whole other side conversation.
That's a whole other thing.
We could actually do an episode on birth charts because they're super fascinating. That would be amazing.
I have the perfect guest for you. I will give you that information.
Yes.
Please.
Yes. All right. Go ahead. Tell us about you, Pat.
So, I'm a very passionate individual. I let my obsessions run me, I guess you could say. I think like a lot of my drive comes from hyperfixation, which, my therapist tells me I should be on pills for, but to me, it's like my superpower. So I've just sort of embraced it.
Right.
I sort of kind of go wherever the wind takes me. And so I've been in filmmaking and writing and stunting as part of my filmmaking. And it's really, it's all about human connection. I think that's what drives me the most. That's one of the reasons that I started a summer camp as well for adults, is just because for me it's all about connecting with people. And I think as a kid I used to say I want to change the world, but I don't mean in a Kardashian sort of sense, or a Kelly Clarkson sort of a sense. I mean impacting just one person. You change one person's world, you've changed their world. And so to me, that's what it's all about, is connection. So
that's fantastic.
That really is. I mean, your list of accomplishments, they're so incredible. Everything that you've accomplished thus far, and I'm sure that's only the tip of the iceberg. Was there one moment that lit the fire in you to stop waiting and just start doing? So many people procrastinate, and it doesn't sound like you have that.
I think I was born this way. It's very much just from a really young age. If I'm interested in something, it kind of takes over it's almost like a prey drive, it's I have to know everything about it. And it's hard to drop. It's it is a hyperfixation. I think definitely there was one instance as I was getting a little older. It was when I was raising money. This is before crowdfunding was a thing. But we were raising money for a short film that we wanted to make. And we were selling chocolates because that's what I did in high school, and I didn't know any other way to raise money. So we just bought a bunch of chocolates and we were selling them. And I was at a theater show, seeing it was an actor. His name is Jay Lagaya, and he's a very famous actor in Australia. and he was in a show, and he had also been in Xena, Warrior Princess, which is a little bit maybe like part of my origin story. I think I'm a big Xena fan, and maybe watching like two powerful women on the screen when I was younger has a lot to do with me not having. I didn't grow up with limitations of like, oh, I'm a girl, I can't do that. It was never. It's never been a thought that's crossed my mind. I've never felt like my gender has held me back, and so. So we were here seeing Jay in a play, and we had met him the year prior in Los Angeles at a convention, and he was just kind of checking in, how you doing? And we told him, oh, we're fundraising for this short film. And long story short, he ended up buying a whole box of chocolates from us. And then he gave us his contact information and said, like, any way I can help, let me know. And there was a bartender role, and we were like, we'd love to have you play the role. And like, it was just so, it felt really ballsy to ask, like, because this guy's, he's big in Australia. And
to note, Penny is from Australia. We did not, I didn't specify that. Penny is from Australia.
Yes, I grew up in Australia. I've been in America for like 10 years now, which is wild. 11 years, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, so we had asked him, and it was just this moment of like, just ask, like, what's the worst that he can say is no. And so that sort of became a moment, like a real lesson for me of like, what's the worst? Like, if there's something you want, just try, just ask. Why not?
Absolutely.
You know?
Yes.
So, yeah.
Because what's the worst?
Right.
Somebody can say no, or somebody, you know, or it doesn't work out. And then you still learn something from it, right?
Oh my gosh, exactly. Yeah.
So how do you decide what to pursue next? Like, is it just that something comes up and then you run with it, or do you plan things out?
It's definitely not conscious, I don't think. It's like it's an inner drive. It's I like to put it, the wand chooses the wizard, Harry, you know, like it's just sort of like whatever I'm into.
Oh, I'm all over that.
Yeah. So it just, and sometimes it's really annoying because like you're hitting your stride and you're doing something, and then I'll have a moment where I'm like, oh, this actually isn't lighting me up anymore. Okay. And then, you know, yeah. So.
Yeah, no, I get that. I mean, even with myself and work, like I was doing, and suddenly I'm like, I just don't want to do this anymore. I want to do something
do I
new.
even want this? You're like busting your ass trying to do something, and then you're like, hang on, I don't even want
Why
this.
am I doing this?
Yeah.
Right. I don't want to do this anymore. And
I do.
So
and I also, oh yeah, go ahead, Terri.
No, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I'm like, okay, time to switch things up.
Yeah, and I also think both of us, you and I, Terri, are very similar in a way where we are like, okay, that seems really interesting. I want to try that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, like,
Right.
you know, I've had so many side gigs and so many. Oh, I'm going to build a website. Oh, I want to do a marketing affiliation thing, or oh, I want to have a store. You know what I mean? And I think it's really interesting because if you let your creativity flow, which I am a big fan of, it's hard to like really like rein it back and then start what you really want to do. It almost adds to the procrastination, right? Because it's too much. It's overwhelming, which I know we're going to talk about, you know, we're going to talk about.
I mean, right. Yeah. The procrastination. Like I know Sandy and I, even this episode, procrastination, like we are recording this at 2:00. So at 1:00, we're like, let's see how this software works. Like where we should have been doing it. Like,
right.
And I'm like, I can't hear you.
Right.
So, I mean, you know, everybody procrastinates, you know, so, but Sandy, can you, I know you've been looking into it about why women procrastinate. Like there's certain things that click with women in procrastination.
Right. So common reasons, I did some research, and common reasons, I have 3 common reasons. I mean, I'm sure there's more, but these 3 kind of resonated. So I wanted to talk about them. So the first is emotional regulation difficulties, right? So procrastination often arises from challenges in managing negative emotions, such as anxiety, fear, or failure, or even self-doubt. And instead of confronting those feelings, individuals may delay tasks to avoid discomfort, which honestly, that I put myself in that situation, right? So I might have a good idea for a business, but I might not jump in because do I know enough about it? That's the self-doubt, right? So I might be like, oh, I have a great idea. But unless I start, you know, moving forward and researching and getting that idea done, I'm going to procrastinate until it's time.
Right.
Right. So that was
Right.
one that resonated. The other, perfectionism and fear of judgment. Right. So like this one is just what it sounds like. It's a desire to meet exceptionally high standards. Right. So if you have those high standards, it could cause you to postpone task because you don't feel like it's going to be executed perfectly, right? And then also what we were just talking about, overcommitment and overwhelm, balancing multiple roles and responsibilities such as career, family, and personal obligations can leave you feeling overwhelmed, right? So this overload may cause individuals to defer tasks and maybe not due to poor time management, but because of the sheer volume of commitments or the stress associated to them. And so,
Or not setting their
uh,
boundaries.
for sure, which then plays into what we talked about last week. So,
Right, the boundaries.
yeah,
So Penny, I mean, how do you fight through any of those? Because I'm assuming, like, because as she's reading those, I'm like, oh yeah, that's me. No, that's me. That's me. Like, so
right.
how do you fight through that?
That's funny. Yeah, I was thinking like, my therapist would be like, yes, 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 check, check, check.
Yeah.
um, how do you fight through that? I think a lot of it is, I think the funniest thing is that I'm only now starting to deal with that. And it's because I've had great moments of success, and I've had, like, when I was young, it was like the ignorance of youth. Like none of that stuff came up before, because to me, I just couldn't comprehend failure. Like I was so convinced, like, yeah, it's going to work. Like, and I didn't necessarily have all the qualifications or the knowledge, but I had the passion. And so I was like, yeah, we're good. And it's only as I've gotten older and done more that I have run into things like complications or failure that then make me, or I've been doing things so well that I now have a bar that I feel like I have to hit. And if I don't hit that, it's
Right.
like, ooh, now what? But it's just kind of like just acknowledging those things, like not fighting the fear
Right.
or whatever, just being like, yeah, okay, that's a fear that exists, and I'm going to do it anyway.
Right. Right.
That's a
I
part of it.
agree.
Yeah, there's a quote,
Yeah.
right? I don't know who said it, but it's what if I fail? Oh darling, what if you fly?
Right. I love
Yeah,
that.
I love that.
Yeah.
I do. And I feel like even with this podcast, like this is totally out of my box, you know, and Sandy,
Mine
and
too. Yeah.
when we talked about it and we're just like, oh, we should do this. And I'm like, why not do it? Like, why not do
Right.
it? And so like, we just kept, I'm like, let's just do it. And I mean, and it's taking off, like, and I'm just like,
Well,
oh,
and
look
yeah.
at it. Like,
Look what's
look at
happening.
all these people are downloading this. They're actually listening to
Right.
us.
Well, I mean, Nike
You know what,
trademarked
Nip?
that for a reason. Just do
Right.
it.
Just do
right.
it. Yes.
I also think
Yeah.
too, when we decided about this podcast too, we were like, why not? Like, what could we lose? But also, we were looking at the positive, like we get to spend more time together. Like this will
Right.
force us to have, our time together. So it's awesome.
Right.
Really
And
good.
to what you were saying earlier, Penny, part of this too was like, being the business that I have and everything. I belong to a lot of women's and moms groups on Facebook, right? And I see so many women post more and more now anonymously, but like, I'm struggling to do this. And I'm like, oh, Sandy and I were just talking about that last week, like,
Yeah.
and I think, you sometimes just get corner-holed in your little bubble and you're thinking, I'm the only one who's having these issues. So, but you're not, like, and so that was the other reason. So yeah, no, just do it is right.
Right.
I love it.
So,
And just do your best. I think, like,
mhm,
as
Right.
long as you're being true to yourself and you're enjoying it and it feels good,
right.
just keep going.
Right.
Just keep going. Right. So with all of the stuff that you do, how do you structure your day or week to stay focused? Tell me how, because I don't know how to do it.
Listen, when I tell you that I have spent the last week on my couch watching reruns of Survivor from season like 9,
Right.
I think I've blown through about 4 seasons of Survivor in probably like 9 or 10 days, because for me it's like famine or feast. And so like when it hits and I'm on fire, and I will smash all the things out and I just lean into it. And then
Mhm.
and then when when it slows down and I find myself struggling to want to open up my computer, I'm like, okay, we're just going to listen to that. And we're going to sit because I can't sit still for long. So I'm just going to indulge
Right.
the part of me that wants to sit. And then eventually, I mean, of course, if I have deadlines, those things need to be handled. And that's honestly just like time blocking. It's boring answer,
Right.
but it's just a good old to-do
It has
list
to be
or a
done.
schedule. Yeah.
It's
Um,
adulting.
yeah. But it really is just saying like, okay, I'm going to give myself, let's say, an hour a week to do this. And then it's just a check-in. And then as long as I'm like, if I have my to-do and I have my deadlines, I know when they are, I just kind of like, it ebbs and flows, and I don't get mad at myself for that unless it's a deadline that's like really stressful, in which case I will, this sounds really silly, I'll like buy myself a little treat. And then, so like if I have to, let's say, I don't know, God, do taxes. Isn't that the worst one? I hate it.
The
And
worst.
so, but so if I know I have to do that, I'm going to go take myself, get like a coffee or something, like a yummy coffee, not just make my own, like do something that I'm excited to do. And it's like, I can't do this until I do this. And so I'll get the coffee and then I sit down and I do it. And it's like, it just makes it a little bit more palatable. It's like a pre-reward. And yeah, I mean, it's a carrot and stick.
A little
I guess.
motivation.
Yeah, it helps.
Little motivation.
Every now and then.
Little motivation
do love
always
that.
helps.
I do love that. And I love that you give yourself grace on the days that, you might want to sit and, and also rewards for when you're getting, you're checking things off. I mean, I think I'm really excited when I can check something off my list,
Yes.
so having a nice reward is actually quite ingenious.
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
it.
it is.
I actually have an app that I use. I didn't think I'd like it, but it was it was marketed to me enough. I scrolled past it enough times that eventually I was like, fine, I'll check it out. And it's called Finch, and it's just like this little, it's almost like a Tamagotchi type of a pet thing. And I didn't think I would
Really?
be interested in the pet part of it. I'm like, that's just like a little cute little gimmick thing. Like, I don't care about that. I just want something that's going to help me manage my to-dos in like a way that, it's easy, and it tracks them as well. And you can track your mood. So like you can see, oh, my mood is better when I fold laundry because I feel more accomplished, as opposed to like, it's so interesting.
My mood would be terrible if I have to fold laundry.
It's
That's
wild.
my worst thing to do.
You can also connect it to like people, so you can be like, "Oh, my mood dips when I talk to this person." No, just kidding.
We all know that would be for me.
No, it's great. And so, like, but what I found was that the stupid little pet I'm like obsessed with, because you can like you get like little like coin rewards for each time you check off a task, and then you can like buy it clothes. And what I found was it became a part of my day where Willow would help me like dress this little bird, and it grows up and we have pets, and it's just so cute. And so like Willow's my daughter, she's 6 years old, and so she'll like dress it for the day, and sometimes I'm not watching, and then she'll check off. I've got her to help as well, like brushing her hair and getting her dressed is like, oh my God, you want to talk about procrastination? Like that's a whole, and so like, she'll do it, and she'll check
with
them
her
off her list,
curls.
yeah, and check off her vitamins, and then I'll check in after I've dropped her off at school. I'll check my thing, and I'll be like, oh, that's how she dressed it today. And sometimes it looks wild, but it's great. You get a little like that brain rewarding ding every time you check something off, and the ding 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 ding. It's like, yeah, it's and honestly, like it's been helpful for my like all the different tasks that I typically will put off. It's like it helps me
Right.
on top of them.
I mean, it's like the little dopamine hit.
That's
like
it.
with everyone, like
Yeah.
you get a little dopamine hit.
Yep, definitely.
So we talked about the tasks, but I think a lot of people, they get stuck in the planning phase. So like they might have a good idea, or they might, just like have this, they're in the planning phase and they just get stuck there and they don't move forward. What are do you have any advice on how not to be stuck, how to avoid getting stuck in the planning phase?
I think so much of that is personality based. I know what works for me, for sure. I think for me personally, it's about passion. Like if I don't have enough passion to fuel something, it's just not going to happen, no matter how much planning I do. But I think like as long as, that phrase, like if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So I think the planning is so important, but there's so many things, honestly, that like been planning, I get excited about, but then it just doesn't go anywhere. And whether that's because
Right.
something more exciting and that's more authentic to me has come along, or because I've realized in the planning phase, like, oh, that
There's more to it.
actually doesn't work, or like, this is not,
Yeah.
like, don't be afraid to be like, actually, no, like,
Changing my mind. Yeah.
right. Like, you could be
Right.
really like weeks or even months deep into something, and then you realize like there's a reason this isn't moving forward.
Right.
And so that's one of the biggest things I listen to is just my gut of like, is this moving? Do I feel good about this? And if
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like if you're stuck in the planning phase, there's got to be a reason why. And if it's the fear, like, that's exciting, because whatever it is that's holding you back, that's the nugget of information that you want to lean into. Like, the thing that's making you the most scared, lean into that. And like, you know how people say like, oh, be curious about that emotion. For real though, like dive in and be like, why can I not get this figured out? And you can like talk to a friend or a therapist or a partner, whoever it is that is like a go-to for you. Just like, don't be afraid to like face that part of you and kind of try to work it out. And once you can overcome that and you realize like maybe it's something really silly, like, oh, I'm just afraid of failing, like, cool, well, we're definitely going to fail if we just sit here and do nothing.
Right.
So, like,
Right.
is there anything at risk, like financially or family, relationships, anything like that? And as long as you can make sure that you're not going to be like completely derailing your life,
Right.
you know, I think
Just do it.
yeah,
Right.
That's amazing.
Nike.
And then how do you handle burnout? Like, because I know I, like, again, I felt burnt out from what I was doing. Like, how do you handle that?
I let it happen. I lean into
Yeah.
burnout. I've been in burnout for chunks of time. Recently, I went through something absolutely horrendous, and I just wanted to quit everything and be done with everything. I was like, can I get a different star sign? Like, I don't want to be me anymore because it's giving me too much trouble. Like, I thought it was me, but really it was burnout.
Stress and burnout.
Yeah, so I lean into what I call my comfort menu, which is like a list of things that I know proven make me happy. So like MasterChef. God, I love me some Gordon Ramsay.
Oh, me too.
Or like,
I love Gordon Ramsay. Hell's Kitchen.
like just connecting with friends that I know are the type of friends that are going to give you like the good energy. I recalibrated my Instagram algorithm, so now when I go in, it's all like nature and like just cute stuff instead of what it was before, which was like really stressful and more like business related or more like dream go get a venture type stuff. Like now when I go in, it's like, it's cute cozy shit and I love that. So
Right.
but yeah, I really like, I lean into that, the stuff that makes me happy, and I just give myself grace and I wait for it to pass, and I don't judge myself. For the longest time I was like, oh, you're not doing enough. This is, my therapist just said this to me the other day, like, you are not nice to yourself. You expect way too much.
That's
Like, there's
me.
no way that you would expect that from anybody else. So why yourself?
Right.
And so now a big
I
part
need to
is,
see
like,
your therapist.
oh my God, she's
I know.
incredible. She's so good.
Because that's me. That's exactly me. Like, I am the worst critic of myself. Like, everybody's like, oh, great job. And I'm like, no. Like, this is everything I've done wrong.
Right. Would you ever say that to your daughter? Like, if your daughter came to you and said,
No.
like, I've done this, you would never be like, you should be working harder. How dare you think? No, you would never. So you just got to treat yourself the way you would treat your child, I think is like part of it, maybe.
For sure. I mean, you mentioned being, surrounded by people with the good energy. And I just wonder, like, how do you protect your energy when others try to distract you or give you or if you have self-doubt, like, how do you protect your energy? Is that how you do it?
Motherfuckers off. No, I'm just kidding.
Exactly. No, true.
No, for real. I mean, I would have, like, past Penny absolutely would have done that. But I think there's a lot to say for learning and sort of like dropping the ego and being like, is there a nugget of truth in this? Like, this person is criticizing me to high hell, or is like laughing at me, or telling me that it can't work, or whatever it is. Like, instead of just immediately ignoring them, I'll be like, is your point valid? or is there anything within your point that's valid? Like, is my ego putting up such a wall that I just refuse to listen to something that actually might be a solid warning? And so I used to have this quote that was like, if you tell me it can't be done, what I hear is I dare you to try. And that got me really far in life. That got me some good stuff. But there was also so many lessons that like maybe I wouldn't have had to learn if I had listened to you saying it can't be done. And instead of being like, fuck you, I'm going to do it anyway, and I'm going to do it my way, it's like, okay, well, why can't it be done? What are the things that you think I'm going to come up against? Like I could have had an easier run of it if I had not been so willing to just barrel through and do it my way. So yeah, it's the nuggets of truth. Is there anything of value that I can take from your feelings or your feedback? And is there valid doubt? And then I just decide, and then I move forward, hopefully with like a stronger vision.
I love
That's
that.
great. So we're going to go into lightning round here, Penny, and I'm going to ask you some questions.
Oh boy.
So
Okay.
I feel like we should have some music going. What is your favorite mantra?
My favorite mantra. I do like if you say it can't be done, what I hear is I dare you to try. I also love, this is from Lucy Lawless, who's just absolute queen, and she says, do something scary, the payoff is awesome.
Oh, I love
That's great.
that.
Yeah, that is great. Yeah. And most surprising moment of achievement?
Oh man, this is meant to be lightning round. Most surprising most surprising moment of achievement. Why is that so hard? Okay.
I have a question. Okay, go ahead.
This isn't quite where, this is sort of off track, but it was
That's
a big
fine.
lesson for me, and it was getting pregnant.
Oh.
And for me, that was a moment of achievement for me because I had absolutely zero control in the matter, and that let me just set that up a little better so it doesn't sound really heinous. I am married to a woman, very gay, and so there was like 3 years of trying that we had to do. And me as a go-giver, as a go-getter, I like to be able to plan and execute and check things off my list. And I ran into a brick wall with pregnancy because that's not something you can control. You can even even leaning into like the most expensive science, which we didn't have, there's still an element of like risk, and you just like, it's literally in God's hands, it's not in our hands. And so that was a massive lesson for me of like, what can I control in this moment? And what can I not control? And letting that go was really powerful. And eventually we ended up with our amazing daughter. And so I think, just that's got to be like, it happened. There were so many times when I was like, this isn't going to happen. Like, and I was so down on myself. It was such a big lesson. So I'm into that.
Yeah. Okay. What worst procrastination habit did you finally kick?
Okay. This is so funny because, like I said, I just spent a week on the couch watching Survivor. Because I think that the worst procrastination habit that I finally kicked was getting mad at myself for procrastinating. Because I think sometimes you just have to, and like downtime is crucial, I think. And procrastination is important because, like I said, it allows you to then identify the areas that are causing you to procrastinate. And once you have those locked in, you can say, cool, this is what I'm afraid of. So now I can tackle that. Yeah. The things that you're most reluctant to do, hold the answers to your biggest fears. And once you unlock that, you will be unstoppable.
Unstoppable. What would you tell your 30-year-old self?
Goodness, so many things. Buy stock in Tesla. No, I think I would say, I would say like, stop trying to control everything and drop your ego, because life got so much easier for me once I learned that I didn't need to protect my ego. like arguments didn't become arguments anymore because I wasn't ready to fight. I'm not a chihuahua anymore. I'm in my golden retriever era and I love it.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that is funny.
Oh,
All right.
well,
Sandy, do you
yeah.
want to tell everybody it's their
Well,
turn?
let's move on to it's your turn. This is our segment every week, and last week we asked the question, what is one boundary that you set that changed your life for the better? And we did get one response from Chris. Chris's response makes me so happy. A few years ago, I set a boundary that I would no longer answer work emails after 6 p.m. At first, it felt uncomfortable, but over time, it completely changed my life. I sleep better, feel less stressed, and actually enjoy my evenings now. Setting that one limit gave me my peace back, which I think speaks volumes, right? Because we've all been guilty of this. I mean, I have a full time job. I think, oh my gosh, I have to go and I'm going to eat dinner, but then I'm going to log back in and I'm going to do this and
Mm-hmm.
that, or I'm going to finish that report. And it really just, it does interrupt your peace. And so just to hear that, it just made me happy.
Penny, do you have any boundaries that you've set that have changed your life from our last week episode?
I love what Chris said for starters. I think that's so important. Just because we are accessible 24/7 doesn't mean we have to reply 24/7.
Right.
You know, as long as you're not letting things go and just completely ignoring people, then I love that. I think for me, my boundaries definitely is I've leaned into when to say no and to not take on other people's feelings and acknowledging their feelings as like, I'm really sorry you're feeling that way and I'm here for you if I can help you through that. But like, I'm not going to feel that. And I used to be really like, well, if you're upset, I have to be upset too. And I just
Right.
don't. I can be my nice, calm, you know, like I can be in my space and I can hold space for you without taking on that and without feeling bad about it. So
I
yeah.
love that.
That's a good one. That's a good one too. All right. So this week's challenge, I'm going to set up everybody for this week's challenge. What's one thing you've been putting off? Write it down, break it into the tiniest step possible, and do it today. I always say baby steps to the elevator. So you got to start somewhere, right? So write down your goal and baby steps to the elevator. Take one little step and start heading it. So that's the challenge this week. And so I would like to invite listeners to share what they've tackled this week and send it in to us so that way we can share it with everybody next week. All right. So our next usual segment is our rule of the week. And this week, we're going to let Penny give you our rule of the week.
I do have the rule of the week. It is a good one as well. Dreams don't work unless you do. Start now and not later.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Nothing can happen if you're not doing anything, right? It's not just going to show up and knock at your door.
Right. My mum used to say to me, she tells me all the time, in order to have the energy to do the thing, you have to do the thing.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
Like whether it's you don't want to go for a walk. Not that that's like a dream, but it could be. Like if your dream is to be like in the best shape of I was just saying to Kat, my wife, the other day, like I want to be one of those bitches that just turns 40 and is like, I'm in the best shape of my life. But like that's not going to work if I keep going to Taco Bell and sitting down and watching Paramount Plus. I have to like get up and do it. So it's just get up in the morning, put my gym shoes on, and that's step one.
No.
You know?
That's step one. Well, I'm going to like pat myself on the back because the same thing, like last August, I'm just like, I want to be in better health, better shape, whatever. I mean, I'm down 76 pounds, like, and I just had to do it. Like just start your fasting and just watch what you eat, bitch. And, stop.
Mm-hmm.
So as we're wrapping things up here, Penny, do you have any final thoughts or words of advice for anyone out there who's ready to stop dreaming and start doing?
Oh my gosh, so many words. Yeah. I believe in you, definitely. But that means nothing because you've got to believe in yourself. Is like number one. I love looking at yourself in the mirror. Like if you really want to, if there's something that's holding you back or you're really worried, like take some time, take some time to see you, because so many people are so busy doing their own thing, and like we're looking down at our phones and we're racing around and we're going from here to there, and there's just a million things going on. So just, it sounds a little bit weird, honestly, but like going to the bathroom and looking at look at yourself in the mirror, like look at yourself, like notice the details in your eyes or like the details on your face, and like appreciate yourself first and foremost. So like you get once you have an appreciation for yourself, and like it just kind of opens the door for what can you do, you know, like there's so many, it's just like there's just infinite possibility out there. And I think the other thing that is really important is just to take a moment before you start on a journey towards success, is to define what success means for you. Because when I first started out, like I wasn't afraid of anything like the failure or the, you know, whatever, because I didn't have a whole lot. There wasn't like a lot. Well, you know, I'm going to age myself. Well, I've already told you all that I'm about.
That's all right. Sandy aged us the first 5 seconds into our first podcast. So
that's right. We met in high school, right? I remember, yeah.
Yes.
College.
College. Yeah. College.
Right, yeah. So, but like the internet really wasn't, well, the internet existed, but like there was no Facebook or Instagram really early on. And so there were no likes and there was no follower counts and all of this stuff that I think so many people attribute like bank account totals or follower counts or all, you know, the likes as success. And it's just not. Like, you need to define what success means to you. And like, for me, unlocking that was realizing that success meant like inner peace and a connection to my own authenticity and a connection to others and internal pride and validation instead of needing to seek that from other people. And that's honestly the only thing that got me to a point where I was like, I can write another book, because I was writing it for myself, not because I wanted it to like sell 1 million copies or, you know, like I just wanted to do it because I wanted a new fun challenge. I wanted to like lean into creativity, and you know, that's where I ended up. And I think that redefining success or understanding my own personal definition of success meant that, you know, I feel really, really pulled recently to like coaching my local roller derby team and being a part of my local roller derby team. And so for me, success is like watching those newer skaters, you know, learning new skills and feeling really proud of themselves. And that is so exciting to me. Or like, you know, raising my daughter to be strong and confident and happy, and teaching her like to understand her own values and the things that drive her. It's not, oh my gosh, you drop so much pressure when you take away money and, you know,
likes
all that. Oh God, it's
yes, all of that. So really, as we're closing up here, tell us about your book. Tell us about your camp. Like tell us about what's going on.
Oh gosh.
Or how can people find you even?
How can people find you? When does it drop? Tell us all about it.
So it's coming up, which I think it'll be out by the time this episode airs. So the book is going to be released on April 30th. So really soon. And it's on Amazon. If you type in Beneath Shifting Stars, well, if you're into like fantasy adventure, then it, you know, with like strong female characters, it's Beneath Shifting Stars is the name of the novel. My summer camp, it's a Xena Warrior Princess themed summer camp. So if you're not into Xena, you might not be as inclined, but also it doesn't really, it's basically just a whole bunch of people getting together and feeling connected. We paint ourselves blue and howl at the moon, and you know, it's like summer camp but for grown-ups.
So fun.
Yeah.
So fun.
So that's happening in August in Wisconsin. If you are interested, the website is zeniteretreat.com. Honestly, you could probably just type in Xena Summer Camp in Google and it'll come up for you. And I'm posting all of the updates on, you know, like Facebook. I'm on Facebook as Penny G. Kavanagh, and I'm also on Instagram as Pen Cav. Those are really like the two pages or platforms that I'm on.
Fantastic. Yeah. We'll share that as well. So thank you for being on. I'm so happy to have you on.
Thank you.
And it's truly inspiring, actually. And it helps me to like get off and stop procrastinating, get off my butt and do something. So
just get yourself a to-do list, get it going.
Let's do it.
Check it off.
Yeah.
Sandy, what's coming up next week?
So next week we're going to have another special guest who will talk with us about staying fit at all ages. So we're really
All
excited
right.
to have her on as well.
Yes, we're going into fitness, which is great. All right, everybody. Remember, every road leads somewhere new.
And the best part, we get to make the rules.
See you next time on New Roads, New
Rules.
Rules.
But you're my bestie for life.